So just to outline, I always like to say, well, what are some of the key themes, things which, if you take away anything from this talk, anything from this presentation, what should it be? So number one is that cyber risk is the most pressing risk facing organizations globally. The World Economic Forum consistently labels cyber risk as being the most pressing risk, or the top three risks facing organizations worldwide, and it's consistently said that for at least the past 5+ years. So it is a business risk. One of my biggest pet peeves is when I talk to a CEO or business owner or an executive and they say, "Oh, cyber risk. Oh, our IT team deals with that." That's viewing it through a very, very narrow lens. Cyber risk is not an IT issue. It is a business issue. It is a business risk. Right? And as such, you treat it the same as you would personnel risk, operational risk, financial risk. Right? It needs to be in that enterprise risk bucket. Otherwise, you're just dealing with the technical aspects of it. The next sort of key theme to take out of this is that cybersecurity and doing security well doesn't mean you have to spend a ton of money. I'm a firm believer that most organizations generally have enough security capabilities, or at least enough security investments on the go, that they don't need to spend more money. Really, it's about spending, not necessarily about spending more. It's about being more effective with what you have. So you're not an easy target, and we'll talk about that more in detail in a bit. Another key theme is about cyber risk and cybersecurity. Why? It's about, especially in the banking sector, it's about protecting customer trust and your reputation. If you as an organization, especially in the banking sector, right, you keep experiencing data breaches, or you experience a security issue, that will tarnish your customer trust, right? And if your customers can't trust you, and at the end of the day, trust is one of the most important currencies that an organization has, especially organizations in the financial sector, then you're very much at risk of losing that trust and that reputation. Back to the earlier point about security being easy and practical. Again, so many people equate cybersecurity with having to spend a lot of money. Yeah, doing the basics and doing them well. It's what especially in the financial sector and the banking sector. It's not doing security well and effectively isn't just a competitive advantage. In many cases, it's basic table stakes, right? And especially as organizations become increasingly more digitized, increasingly more virtualized, if you don't do security well, you lose that edge, and you risk becoming irrelevant in your sector. And again, security done well, the organization. So these are the key whys as to why cybersecurity is important. I often get asked that question. So what? So why should we invest in cybersecurity? And the reason why I put him in here is because he epitomizes the false sense of security. Right? He always felt he was untouchable, Teflon, nothing could stick to him. That's what we see with many executives, board directors, and even in the banking sector today, where they feel that when it comes to cyber risk or cybersecurity, they're immune, or they don't have to worry about it. Or if something happens, they're just going to fire the IT director, or the chief information officer, or what have you. Again, that is a false sense of security. Right? And it's something which I truly believe a false sense of security is one of the biggest risks that you can tie back to cyber risk that you can have in an organization. If your board and your C-suite are not engaged from a governance and oversight perspective, and they have a false sense of security, that is far, far, far riskier than you not having, a firewall, as an example. It's something which will be very damaging in the short and long run.